Jules Marcou. Jules Marcou, April 20, 1824, April 17, 1898, was a French, Swiss, and American geologist. Biography. He was born at Salins, in the department of Jura, in France. He was educated at Besançon and at the College St. Louis, Paris. After completing his studies, he made several excursions through Switzerland to recover his health. These travels led him to devote himself to natural science. During these travels, he met Jules Thurman (1804–1855), who introduced him to Louis Agassiz. During 1845, he worked with Thurman on a geological survey of the Jura Mountains. He was appointed assistant of the mineralogical department of the Sorbonne in 1846 and also classified its collection of fossils. During this time, he conducted geological investigations in various parts of Europe. In 1847, he went to North America as traveling geologist for the Jardin des Plantes, charged with studying the United States and the English possessions in North America. The next year, he joined Agassiz in Boston and accompanied him to the Lake Superior region, visiting the copper mines of the Keweenaw Peninsula, Lake Huron, and Niagara. After 6 months, he returned to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and sent minerals he had collected to Paris. In January 1849, Marcou directed his attention to the geology of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Later, he crossed the Allegheny Mountains, visiting the Mammoth Cave and other localities, and then traversed Canada. He returned to Europe for a short time in 1850. In 1853, he published a geological map of the United States and the British provinces of North America. In 1853, he was hired by the United States government to serve as a geologist for the Pacific Railroad Survey along the 35th parallel, one of a series of explorations of the American West to find possible routes for a transcontinental railroad. In this role, he became the first geologist to cross the United States. He subsequently made a geological section extending from the Mississippi River to the Pacific Ocean. In 1855, he became professor of geology and paleontology at the Polytechnic School of Zurich, but relinquished this office in 1859. His letters sur les roches du Jura et leur distribution géographique dans les deux hémisphères, published 1857. 1860 included one of the earliest proposals that a land bridge had once existed between the Old World and New World. In 1861, again returned to the United States, when he assisted Louis Agassiz in initiating the Museum of Comparative Zoology, and was in charge of its paleontological division from 1860 to 1864. Subsequently, he devoted himself to scientific research until 1875, when he again began service for the United States government and accompanied the Wheeler Survey to Southern California. Personal life and death. Jules Marcou married Jane Belknap of Boston in 1850. They had 2 children. He died in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in 1898 and was interred there in Mount Auburn Cemetery. Publications. Life, Letters, and Works of Louis Agassiz, 1895. Cretaceous Formations of the Jura. Gaius Permian of Nebraska. Taconic Rocks of Vermont and Canada. American Geological Classification and Nomenclature, 1888. Geological Map of the World, 1861. 2nd ed. 1875. A Little More Light on the United States Geological Survey, 1892. Letters sur les roches du Jura et leur distribution géographique dans les deux hémisphères, 1857–1860. Geology of North America, 1858.